Looking everybody, video here for you today. Rest in peace, Chuck Apps. Miss you, buddy. This is a recap of the December 15th, Season 9, Episode 7 of The Curse of Oak Island called It All Adze, A-D-Z-E, up. It all adds up. More on that later. If you missed my recap of Episode 6, there's a link to it on the upper right. Let's get into it. There's an island in the North Atlantic where people have been looking for an incredible treasure for more than 200 years. You know the rest. That's the beginning of the show. Watch it if you haven't seen it. Rick, Marty, archaeologist Laird Niven, and other members of the team meet in the war room to discuss what they are allowed to do in the swamp, considering the recent governmental shutdown of activities in areas in which the local indigenous people's artifacts have been found. In the last episode, the team decided to halt archaeological procedures since any other such artifacts being found could result in even more of the island being off limits. Laird Niven remains on the island full-time, but all the other archaeologists have left the island. Laird says that their swamp, quote-unquote, general permit has been approved with permission to dig on the south side as well as the paved area. The off-limits areas are inside the red circles as shown here. The late landowner and treasure hunter Fred Nolan's belief that the swamp was artificially created to hide evidence of the wreck of a Spanish galleon. Fred drained the swamp in 1969 and found several pieces of wood from a sailing vessel, including a ship's mast. Fred's son Tom continues to work with the team and is part of this war room meeting. Recent finds include wood believed to be part of a ship's railing, carbon dated to the 7th century. 2018 seismic scan of the swamp is recounted, which resulted in evidence of this 200-foot-long ship-shaped anomaly. The team decides to bring in a long-range excavator to try to find physical evidence of it. More than once, a team member says every time they do significant digging in the swamp, something of interest is found. In the C1 cluster area in the money pit, a new borehole called F2 is dug right there. In this cluster, they have found water samples and metals containing evidence of gold and silver, as well as wood timbers indicating shafts and tunnels around the 90-foot level in multiple boreholes. For some reason, they do not mark F2 on this image, but you can see it at the intersection of the F horizontal line and the 2 vertical line right there where I have the cursor. I think I have cursor shown. If not, you can easily find those the F and the 2 and just follow the lines. The metals came out of borehole D2 above the new F2 hole. D2 right there. And there could be a north-south tunnel along the 2 vertical line. And so that's what they are looking for. More wood brought up from the 86-foot sample from borehole F2. Appearing to be a shaft wall. It is said it has to be undocumented searcher work or it's the original money pit. Metal detection expert Gary Drayton and Rick Lagina go to Lot 4 to continue going over the area in search of the evidence of the hatch from Zena Halpern's French map. They have found a metal clasp with a leather strap and a gold-plated button. But we'll need to find more evidence before they can get a permit for a bigger dig in the area. Gary finds a heavy iron spike. The heavier it is, the older it is likely to be. They will have blacksmith Carmen Legg try to identify it and also do scientific analysis on it. They also find what Gary thinks is an adze. A-D-Z-E. Told you it was coming up. A digging tool that dates back to ancient Egypt. Digging in the swamp with a new longer excavator, Billy brings up a big tree stump, which they believe is an oak tree, from 4 to 6 feet under the organic growth. Oak trees cannot grow in water, which would give more credence to the theory that it was once dry land, then at least 4 feet of organics put on top of it, then water on top of that, creating an artificially made swamp. Rick, Alex, and Jack, not Alice, visit Carmen Legg in his blacksmith shop, and he says the find from earlier is an English style of topping adze and is used to smooth timbers of a floor or deck to remove the knots. The square hole makes it older than the adzes used in the area. Carmen puts the date at around 1620 to 1740. Later they inform Rick and Gary of this news in the war room. And Rick says that he thinks the work on Oak Island was done incrementally over a period of years, if not decades. Back in the swamp, the next day, the team finds a piece of hand-hewn wood. Marty says even before an expert looks at it, it's already significant because why are shaped pieces of wood at depth in the swamp at all? Gary finds another piece of wood shaped in the same manner. Billy says he thinks they look like the boards on the top of a wharf. Dr. Krista Brousseau visits the war room with her analysis of the metal items found on last week's show. The button is mostly copper and tin. The presence of bismuth indicates a British button, estimated between 1726 and 1776. Many British military items have been found over the years. The narrator, Robert Clotworthy, asks, could they have placed something here? Or were they looking for something someone else placed there much earlier? The thin piece of metal is a copper-tin alloy. It has arsenic content, which makes it much older than the button and is used for bells or cannons. It is likely Spanish or Portuguese, the latter of which were one of the first to use cannons on ships. Next time on the Curse of Oak Island, they find more worked wood pieces in the swamp and a metal strap, quote-unquote, typical of a heavy chest. According to blacksmith Carmen Legg, in the C1 cluster, they think they have found shaft 6, which is known to be 18 feet from the exact location of the money pit. I'll be back next week to recap that episode 8, and a link to that recap episode will be in the upper right in this video once I post that episode 8 recap. Thanks for watching.